Hello, welcome to Tarot by the Moon. It's Tasha at Tarot by the Moon. Hello everybody, happy full moon. Hope you're all doing okay. Hope you're hanging in there in this very special full moon, the Pisces full moon. So, hope you're all doing good. Thank you all for the likes, comments and feedback on the last Starseed video. Really happy that you're enjoying those. Really pleased that that's going down and sitting with you guys. Time for the full moon in Pisces reading now. Wow, what a lot of energy we are navigating at the moment. It's very intense. A lot of emotions are still coming up. Some of them you might find that you're going from like feeling really beautiful, soft love energy to quite panicky, quite anxious energy, especially if you're very sensitive, because you'll be picking up on, as I always say, you'll be picking up on other people's feelings and emotions as well as your own. So try and remember how to distinguish between those two. Simply to take some deep breaths, to ask Spirit guide you. Is this my anxiety I'm feeling, or is it something else? And you'll find that it'll alleviate very quickly, or it'll stay with you. In which case, it's come up for healing. Don't panic. Don't see it as a bad thing. Very often, if everything's up in the air in life, especially during a lunar phase like that we're in now, it can be a sign from the universe that we are actually ascending, that we are actually shifting to a greater timeline for ourselves, and that's why everything's sort of in limbo and up in the air and all of those sorts of things as well. So I've just been asked to remind you guys of that as well. Interesting little thing happened. After the last Starseed video, I did the moon ritual at the end, yeah? And I didn't notice till I looked at the film back after that underneath the pack, and if you look back at it, you'll see it. If you just go to the bit where I do the moon ritual at the end, yeah, you'll see that underneath the pack, all along, was the full moon in Pisces card. Because, like, after, I sort of thought to myself, I should have looked under the pack. I should have looked under the pack as well. Full moon in Pisces sheds new light on my emotional journey. But not only that, right? I did a complete shuffle of them after discovering that was underneath all along. And like I say, if you go back and have a look, you'll see it. You'll see it as I sort of move the cards. The camera shows it. I shuffled them all again and asked for one for myself to work with for the week. And guess what? One came out, of course. And of course, there was nobody here to witness it. And I just sort of said out loud to the universe, well, of course it would be this one. Because as I always say to you guys, what we're working on in our world, in our personal life, is what we're healing in the collective, and for everyone, okay? So we're all in this together, and I just wanted to share that little factoid with you. Full moon in Pisces sheds new light on my emotional journey. Beautiful mermaid illustration there underneath the full moon. So let's look at our emotional journey, and I know we have been through this Virgo season as well. It's been a very emotional Virgo season. There's been a lot of figuring out what's making us feel good, what's not making us feel good, what's time to let go of, what is time to stop chasing, what is time to appreciate and gathering closer to yourself, and all of those sorts of things that I know we've been doing sterling work here in this collective, and it's really been starting to show. So yeah, just thought I'd share that with you. I'll put it in the middle. But you know what, I won't. I think I'll leave it there. We'll have the energy of it there with us for the reading, because it's very appropriate. So yeah, let's see what's coming up for us. Now, one thing I will say as well, with this Pisces full moon energy, it's very emotional. It's asking us to heal a lot of things. It's asking us to look back on. Also, retrograde season properly kicks in today, okay? And people talk about Mercury retrograde, but it's not just Mercury. There's other planets involved as well in the retrograde season. But again, it's nothing to be feared. It's something to be understood and worked with, okay? So very often it's just a case of it asking us to look back on things that we've done, or people from your past may appear. That doesn't always mean ex-lovers, though it can mean ex-lovers. It can mean anyone, okay? You might just find a lot of people in general are getting in touch with you because it's that kind of energy. It brings that up, okay? Anything that you've repressed or pushed aside in the past that you didn't heal properly, which, you know, we're all going through. Even though you've healed something, there's still other layers. There's always other layers. It's not like something's ever finished or completed. It's infinity we work with, that we're part of after all. So So don't be scared of that either. Don't be scared of any of it. It's not there to be scared of, only to be understood. And like I say, try and think of it like a celebration, this Pisces full moon. I think we should be celebrating it because it's the end of a zodiacal year, lunar-wise. And it's like, you know, look at all the growth. Look at all the magic. Look at all the wonder of it. Look at the Pisces rules dreams, rules sleep, dreams, imagination, all of that kind of thing. It's powerful, powerful stuff. It's very, very mystical sign. So allow that to come up, that energy to come up within yourself, you know, and not to get lost in it, obviously, but to appreciate it, to celebrate it. So it's time to dream big on a positive spin of that, I feel. It's time to dream really, really big. Even to the point of like, it's like a fantasy energy, yeah, which, you know, why not? Why not? I mean, because people might say, you know, a lot of people say, no, you're too idealistic. You're too idealistic. The world isn't simple as that. People are never going to change. Like, that's never going to happen. There'll never be delicious vegan food or, you know, whatever it is. And the world does change. Things do happen. Things that were once a fantasy are actually now a reality or whatever, you know? So have that capacity to totally fantasize about the kind of energy and the kind of vibration that you'd like to live in, that you'd like to see in yourself and reflected in others around you. Now's the time to do that. I just think that's the positive spin on all this Pisces energy, because it can be very heavy, and it certainly is a deep dive emotionally, and a lot of painful stuff certainly does come up for healing. But on the better side of it as well, it's a celebration. It's a fantasy celebration of all of that as well. So yay, I'm over the moon about that. That's right up my street. Just take a sip of my tea. Don't forget as well, we're still in the eclipse energy. I've just had my attention drawn to, this is my personal little board of things that I work with up there. Eclipse Mermaid. Now, Eclipse Mermaid came out for me when the eclipse happened months back, 3-4 months back. And we're still in the energy of the eclipse. It lasts for about 6 months, and it's massive, massive changes. And this was the one, surprise, surprise, that came out for me to work with, and she's sat there ever since. And my attention's just been drawn to it. Now there's lots of stuff up there, but my attention's just been drawn straight to it to talk to you about now. Not only are we in the full moon in Pisces, but we're still under eclipse energy. So all those massive changes that the eclipse would have asked you to start looking at are really starting to sort of gel now. Let's put it like that. Those changes are really starting to gel within yourself and even in your outer world by now, okay? So that's a cause for a celebration too. You know, if we could all get together and have one big full moon party, I'd be right up for that. Let's have a Tarot by the Moon party sometime. I'd be so right up for that. But anyway, you can celebrate, even if that's just allowing yourself to relax, have some pamper time or whatever. One thing I will say as well is, over the next week or so, perhaps up even to 10 days from this full moon, is wise not to make any big decisions. It's wise not to start anything new as well, okay? Not the time for it. Keep a low profile, keep a low key in any of those sorts of things. Keep a gentle, humble energy in any of those sorts of things, like having to make a big business decision, a big life change. Are those asking you to look at those things and consider those things and consider how they're gelling moving forward? It's not the time to act on them quite yet, okay? Very important. Not a time to be starting a new relationship or anything like that, okay? Just allow this energy to weave its magic without worrying about it too much. And like we always say at the full moon, it's time to release what, in gratitude and in love, or and by now we've done some sifting through Virgo season by Jiminy, you know. By now we know what needs to go, okay? And what's been holding us back, etc. So here's Mr. Milo. In case anyone's not seen before, here's Mr. Milo. Here's my lovely boy. Okay, bugger. He's Parsons Russell. He likes to get involved with the tarot. He absolutely loves it. He's been super affectionate this week. He's my boy. Yes, he is. So, without further ado, let's call in the highest vibration of love and only love into this reading for ourselves, for anyone else involved in your reading today, for the collective, for the world, for the planet we live on, for all of the species that we share the planet with. all of the plants and the animals that are our teachers and our guides, all of the ancestors and star ancestors and interdimensional beings that are overseeing this reading. Nothing but radical compassion and love, and so it is. You don't need to be any particular star sign to join in with this reading. It's for everyone. I work on the premise of we've all got the elements and we've all got the influences working with us, and I'll explain as I go along. Yeah, you don't need to be. You might find it really resonates to you. It is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Don't try and make it fit. Just enjoy it for what it is. If you've come into my reading, then you can consider it a healing and a protection. There's a lot trying to come up here today. I need to shuffle my cards. Right, let's get into it. Please hit the like button. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. It's very, very simple. You'll never be asked for any money, either from myself or from YouTube. It's a very simple procedure. Please hit the notification bell if you would like to receive notifications. The next video is coming out. And please leave me a comment. I absolutely love that. In the box below. If you did want a personal reading, I will leave a link to an email address that you can contact me at. Please don't give any money away to anyone contacting you pretending to be me over the internet, because that won't be me. I don't approach people and ask them if they want tarot readings. They approach me. Okay, my loves, so protect your beautiful selves. Let's see what's coming up. The way we do this as well, you're a tarot by the morning, in case you haven't looked at this reading before. Oh, ooh, lovely. Right, what am I doing here? I'm not doing that, I'm taking these, okay. Oh, okay. Just a second. Just stuck down there a minute. The way I do this reading is in 4 sections, and they represent the elements, and the first one represents air, and that's how we're doing with our thought processes, our mental health and all of that. The second one represents water, and that's all about our emotions and our heart and our feels and how we're doing with all of that. The third one represents fire, so that's our creativity and our willpower and how we're getting things done. And the fourth one is how we're actually manifesting it in the earth element after pulling the lessons through those 3. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It sort of makes sense as it goes along. It's quite a unique way to do it. It's something that I came up with when I first started this channel, and it seems to be working, and it includes everyone. Okay, so let's go in now. Excuse me a minute, my darlings. Right, the first one coming up, we've got a hangman in the area of our thought processes and in the area of air. Right, so this is about gaining a different perspective. Now, sometimes the hangman is one of those cards that people sort of tat at and roll their eyes at, but I feel like in this particular reading, in this particular section of this reading, under this particular Pisces full moon that we're under, it's actually a very good energy, because it allows us a pause. Okay, it's about having to pause. And while you're having to pause, while you feel like, I said at the beginning, didn't I, in the preamble, this is what I'm getting, feels like everything's up in the air. Well, what more of a potent symbol of everything being up in the air can you get than the hangman? You can't move on some things. You're stuck there. You're hanging upside down. It's limbo. It's frustrating sometimes. You being asked to have extreme patience this time, even with a lot of things, while they settle back down around you, as I've already said at the beginning, at the preamble. But why I say this is such a positive energy coming up in the area of our minds there is because it forces you to look at things from a different perspective. It's a pause. If you look at it on a positive spin of it, it's a pause that you can't do nothing about, that you can't maybe get things moving or get answers or get communication going or whatever it is you're trying to shift, right? Because Spirit has actually asked you to let go of control. If you've got the hangman, Spirit have said, right, if you can't let go of trying to control every little thing, we're going to make sure you can't control it, all right? And now you're going to have to learn to look at things from a different perspective. It's about a shift in perspective. And I feel very much that that's the strong message coming up today in that area. It's about actually now we're starting to understand that when we look at things when we shift our perspective, we shift our point of magnetism, we shift our reality. I hope that makes sense. So if you shift your way of thinking, which is shifted through having to have a different perspective, if he could climb down from there and run around and do all the things that he supposedly thinks he wants to do or needs to do, life would be turning out a lot different, wouldn't it? But because the universe has got other ideas and has gone, no, you're going to hang there. You're going to hang there until you see things from a different perspective. I mean, you can't have more of a different perspective than hanging upside down. You can't. And in the traditional story of this tarot card, the mythology of it comes from Norse mythology, actually, and it comes from Odin. And if you look up the story of Odin, it's also linked to Osiris. If you look up the story of Odin, he hangs upside down from the world tree Yggdrasil, and that's where the runes were invented. That's where Odin spies the runes, and when he comes down from the tree, he's able to write the runes and decipher the runes and teach other people the runes. This is how the runes happened, yeah. So this is what it's teaching us. He wouldn't have had that amazing insight into spirit. He wouldn't have had that amazing, innovative, new way of communicating spirit language if he hadn't been forced to hang upside down from the tree. It's one of those stories that comes up in all sorts of mythologies and folklore that's very, very similar themed. And it's very often about rebirth involved as well. Okay, you can see the figure in the card almost looks like he's in a cocoon, almost bat-like, or has a moth. I think there's a moth as well. It reminds me of when they're in their cocoon, they're hanging upside down, and then they come out and they're reborn. You know, it's that kind of energy. But it's something that you can't fight against. There's no point in fighting against it. So you may as well celebrate it. This is what I'm saying. You may as well celebrate. We're in the Pisces full moon, right? Put your brain on hold. Stop your busy brain from overthinking. It's been forced to at the minute. Look at things from a different perspective, and you're going to gain treasures. What you think you should be doing, getting down off that tree and running round, is not what you should be doing. You should just be taking a pause at the minute, all right? This makes sense. It makes perfect sense to me. It's never been so happy to see a hangman, in fact. Because it is showing me that as well. It's showing me that, like, over the last couple of weeks, I know a lot of us have had trouble with overthinking, the brain going 90 miles an hour, especially with all the Mercury energy that's been going on, right? This coming up in this area to show me that we've actually learned and accepted to still that. Maybe we've incorporated tools to help us to do that, and look at things from another perspective, my loves. Okay, next one coming up in the area of our emotions, heart, water. Again, really, really happy to see this. It is a very positive card anyway, on any day of the week, in any spread. It's a 4 of Rods. It's a happy card. It's a card of happy homes. It's a card of celebrations, actually. See, I said it at the beginning. Some of you may actually be having a celebration. If you're watching this, there may be some kind of special anniversary or special birthday or special occasion of some kind. But if it's not, I mean, the Pisces full moon, like I said to you at the beginning, it is a celebration. Astrologically, it's a massive celebration, and we should celebrate it. So anything, I feel like somebody's getting party-fied. I feel like somebody's going yay, or there's a cause for a it's like somebody's pushed through that finish line of something as well. I want to say this can be completing things that you've been working hard on for a long time. Could be anything, could be exams, could be anything that you've been working hard on for a long time, and you finally pushed through the finish line of something. Or it could just be good news in general coming into your home in particular, or relating to the home in particular. So it can also mean marriage proposals or happy proposals of any kind, but proposals often happen when this card's about. Okay, got a beautiful couple there gazing lovingly into each other's eyes on a 4-poster bed, so you can't help thinking of romance. And you look at that image, it's very auspicious for anything romantic. It's not just auspicious, it brings stability. The 4 rods are showing you that anything that's sort of being completed around now or coming to starting to gel, I wouldn't, like I said at the beginning, I wouldn't advise starting anything now, but anything that's been cooking away a while, and now we're starting to gel, it's got great stability right now. Fantastic stability. It's come up in the area of our heart, so that's clearly showing me as well that we've learned to understand in our mind that it's time to take a pause and stop our brain whirring around a million times an hour and actually see things from a different perspective. And in the heart, we're very, very stable. Very, very stable, very, very loving, very, very secure energy, I want to say. So I'm really happy to see that there as well. It's as simple as that, really, and I couldn't be happier. We've got this lovely fella coming up in our area of fire. Now, he is a fiery knight of rods, very fiery energy. There's a full moon there in that depiction as well, funnily enough. He's all about the fire and the passion, and he's come up in the area of fire and passion. So we are very much aligned with our fire and passion, I'd say, as well right now. We're very, very balanced with that, for that to come up there. He is very active. He likes to get things done. This can... it's a lesson in letting things come and go as well, the Knight of Rods, I feel, because very often when people get this in a, for instance, love reading, it'll be, the classic interpretation is, it's the player energy, okay? This is somebody who comes into your life, they love you, and then they leave you, and they've gone out of your life. But in this particular reading, I feel like it's more about teaching us that things do come and go. Things come and things go, and that's fine, and it's like it's in perfect balance because it's come up in our area of fire. It's like it's showing us we're in alignment with that side of ourselves. We're understanding what to hold on to, to accept graciously what comes into your life, and to understand when it's time to let it go as well, and to understand when it's time to let it go before it becomes toxic, I want to say. Sorry to my belly rumble then. Apologies for that. So he's very, very fiery. He's very, very creative. He takes action, but he also knows when to get himself out of a situation and how. Alright? Without hurting anyone. Like I say, take that stigma of the player energy away from this card a minute and look at its other qualities. Excuse me, I got Mr. Milo scratching my tail. Come here. He needs attention. He's very, very loving lately, and if I'm not giving him attention all the time, I get all kinds of behaviours. What's the matter, pal? So, we'll come back to that. We'll clarify that in a minute. Let me just move on to this. Now, I'm glad to see this as well, because I've said to you for weeks, and in fact, I said it to you last week, like, the fives. So we're stuck in the fives. I'm fed up with the fives. I'm especially fed up with the Five of Swords, I gotta say. And I know I'm not the only one. There has been a lot of disputes. And certainly if you look at the media, the news, a certain lady that we all know has passed away and all of that. I don't... Right, but it brings... You know what I'm saying? It brings up a lot of disputes. It brings up a lot of angst in people. It brings up a clash of opinions and ideas and things like that, and a lot of you will have been sick to death with that already, as if there wasn't enough things going on to make people dispute with each other. Alright, and it's been going on for months, because I said to you last week, this energy, I've said to the universe over and over again in the last couple, the fives, leave me alone with the fives. There's been conflict on conflict on conflict, and it has taught us lessons, especially people like us in this collective. It has taught us how to stay in our power, how to stay humble, keep the ego out of things, let things ride, how to be diplomatic, etc, etc. But I couldn't be happier to see it in the reverse, because it's been hanging on for absolutely weeks, if not months, that energy, alright? And this is what I'm saying, this area represents what we're manifesting through all of these lessons, these divine lessons that we're pulling through, okay? Oh dear, what's the matter, pal? I think he's hurt himself as well, to be honest with you. He's been walking a bit funnily. Sometimes he flies at the front door a little bit too hard, and I think he sort of pulls a little muscle or something like that. And Mr. Murray sort of bumped him the other day, and he hasn't been right since, to be honest with you. Mr. Milo, will you calm down with that now? Good boy. Good boy. He's driving me crazy soul attention seeking. Yeah, the spirits, maybe even with your furries, you know. Look at that, that looks like what Mr. Murray looks like when somebody knocks on the door. They take away that wolf in that card there, to be honest with you. Oh. Anyway, I digress. Okay. So it's in the reverse. This is what I mean. So we're actually turning that around, which we've been working on for weeks, if not months, if not always, obviously, yeah. It's actually turned around in this area of this reading by the full moon. So yay, we've been working hard. We've been staying in our power. We've been staying in alignment. We've been not allowing egos to get in the way. We've been handling things with diplomacy and humility. We've been learning to hang like a hangman and just say, okay, I can't do anything about this situation or that situation that I'd like to see movement on, but that I can't do anything about, so I'm just going to hang. I'm not going to overthink, and I'm just going to hang, and I'm going to see things from a different perspective. I'm going to incorporate and understand that there is great stability and great energy coming into my heart space that we've been clearing for ages and ages as well. Great stability coming in there, that our passions have returned. That's what I want to say about that as well, because this is quite like a obviously that rod with a fiery tip, need I say more, that's quite phallic, that's quite potent. That feels like even your sacral chakra, your sexuality and things like that may have started to rebalance in a healthier way, okay? And, you know, the thing with that is, one thing that I've learned is it just needs to be recognised for that. Oh yeah, you know, hello. And that's all, really. You could... this is a good time to learn about anything to do with tantric sort of stuff and things like that as well, I would have thought. Not that I would recommend starting anything new now, mind, so maybe not. But if you've already been sort of on that course of action, you might feel like things are really starting to balance with that energy. I feel like there's a balance coming in with this, Knight of Rods. I feel like it's you're understanding when it's time for feeling that and when it's time for letting that go, especially if you've been projecting it onto people in the past, or you've been chasing after lots of different people in the past, for whatever reasons. I'm not judging anything, no judgment here. Now you're starting to understand that you don't need to do that. You can just recognise it. You can draw that energy back to yourself, and you can use it in much more creative ways that benefit the collective. It needed saying, or I wouldn't have said this for somebody. Okay, so let's move on with a clarifier. Okay, my loves, if you are enjoying this reading, please give me a like, subscribe, a share even, and a comment. I would absolutely love that. Excuse me, I'm a bit blocked up. Love to hear from each and every one of you. Let me ever take the flippers and the fallers from my shuffles, in case you've not watched before. It's just the way I've always worked and always will. I talk very, very fast because I'm getting a lot of downloads. Sometimes I go very, very quiet because I'm listening to the downloads, so bear with me too. I'm not one of these people who do the channel and believe I've got to put on a show. That's like making a good TV programme. It's not. It's a real reading, so bear with me. Okay, the Hermit's come up to back up the Hangman. Perfect. We're in Virgo season. It represents Virgo. This is the season we're in, so couldn't be more, again, in alignment. It's showing us that we are in alignment with the energies that are going on right now. A lot of us have been doing a lot of work, and it's starting to really show and pay off spiritually. He did come up in the reverse, okay? So this can show us now that we may have been in this hermit stage for quite a long time. We might have been in this hanged man stage for quite a long time, which is a very similar thing, really. It's about going within, keeping still, yeah, and those sorts of things. And now, like I say, there is still a sense of that, like I said at the beginning, at the preamble, there is still a sense of that reaching out over the next week or so, okay? But slowly and steadily, you're going to start coming out of it. That's why he's come out in the reverse, to show us, you know, don't get too fed up while you're being asked to stay in this position, or while you're staying within and you're not making any big decisions over the next week or so. Don't get impatient about it, don't get frustrated about it, because this has come out in the reverse to clarify that, to show us that slowly we're going to come out of that, okay, over the next week or so, I would say. Then just slowly, just don't make any big decisions, but slowly start coming out from shell, slowly start. I mean, if you were to just cut him down from that tree, it would be brutal, wouldn't it? He'd fall on the ground, he'd probably really hurt himself, and it would be quite brutal, poor chap. He's been hanging there for goodness knows how long. But if you brought him down from there very gently, you know, it would almost be like a rebirth. You don't want to midwife him down from there, you know, very gently, very surely, very safely. Wake him up very gently. And then he's going to remember all those amazing insights that he's had. Where if you just cut him down from there, he'd probably bump his head and forget that he'd spied the runes even. So very gently, very quietly, that hermit's coming down from the other side of the mountain. That's what the hermit's story is. He's gone up the mountain, he's gone within, he's taken his lamp with him, and he's going to get ready to come back down and shine that light on the other side of the mountain, okay? So he's getting ready. You're getting ready to come out of there, and it's going to pay off. It's already paying off. It's going to pay off big time. It's going to start to see how you can live differently, do things differently. It could be any number of things, but you've seen something massive, something really important to you as well, from a different perspective, and that lesson's invaluable, absolutely invaluable. It changes everything, I want to say, absolutely everything. We've got the sun coming up in our area of our heart. The sun came up for us last week, and the sun's been coming out a lot in my readings lately. I'm really, really happy to say. So this is showing us that a lot of us have now started to really get that light at the end of the tunnel, push through that long dark night of the soul. At last the sun's come out. It's come out in the area of our heart as well, so absolutely beautiful energy. It brightens up the rest of the tarot reading. It's one of the most positive, in fact it is the most positive energy in the entire tarot. It did come out in the reverse, so showing us that some of us might still have a little way to go. It's such a positive energy, however, that even in reverse it pretty much means the same things. It just means you might have to be a little bit more patient, which perfectly makes sense when you consider the hermit and the hangman have come up there. Of course we've already know we're gonna have to be a little bit more patient, but there's great stability coming in, and I think it's to do with getting your mind in order. It's to do with accepting this energy. Once we've learned to accept the hangman and the hermit, then the stability comes in with the Four of Rods, comes into our hearts, the sun energy. It's about healing, it's about being happy, it's about healing the inner child, moving forward in life, abundance. It's perfect, and it's perfect tandem with the Four Rods, absolute perfect tandem with the Four Rods. So happy to see that. And then we've got the Four of Cups coming up in the area of our passions now. Four of Cups. Okay, this is about perspective as well. It's clarifying that Knight of Rods, okay? This is the energy I'm getting. Looking here and looking there for love, alright? That's the danger of the Knight of Rods, and that's why he's got a reputation for being a bit of a player, alright? Because he's looking at this one, he's looking at that one, he's eyeing it all up. And he's looking for love, all right, in this passion, even specifically in this particular area. And what the universe is saying, he's not finding any satisfaction where he's looking. He's not finding any of the satisfaction where he's looking. And like I say, he might have multiple people on the go or something like that, and there's no satisfaction in it. Because the one that Spirit has for you, you haven't even found yet, or you're not looking at, because you're so busy chasing after all of this. You're not even noticing that. I'm going to dig a bit further into that. That's powerful for somebody. Hierophants come up in our area of Earth. Love the Hierophant. This is showing us we've leveled up, and I love this particular Hierophant. It's fabulous. Look at it. Leveled up massively. Okay, this is about traditional values very often. This is about doing something in a tried and trusted way. Okay, there's a sense of it's a very, very powerful energy. It incorporates the Magician, the High Priestess, the Emperor and the Empress in one energy. So when you think about it like that, it sort of shows you how potent that is. So you've leveled up to a point where you're comfortable in yourself, in your decision making, where you're able to sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Mr. Milo's distracting me so much. I'm so sorry. Mr. Milo, can you stop it? I know you're a sweetheart, but come on now. Where you've sort of balanced your male and feminine, masculine and feminine energies perfectly, where you're able to express both sides of that absolutely perfectly, where you're able to make decisions, where you're able to stay back and wait, where you're able to give from a generous heart, where you're able to understand that all of the power that you need to make decisions and make life changes are within you and not without you. It's all of that, but it's also often about applying it in a very sort of tried and trusted sense, whatever that means to you. Because that, obviously that can mean anything to anyone. It depends what culture you come from, whatever that means to you. It's about going down a tried and trusted way, but with your skills and your energy is so perfectly balanced, so gemmed up and things like that, okay? And that's how we're moving through this negative, heavy energy, Five of Swords, which we talked about quite a lot in the last couple of readings, which is what's going on in the world around us. It's very negative, it's very heavy, there's a lot of dispute, there's a lot of aggression, there's a lot of violence even around, you know, with that energy. But this is how you have navigated and stayed in your power. This is how you've shown others how to live and continue to, okay? So that's fantastic. I absolutely love that. I'm being asked to look at this again, this passion area, the fire area. Okay. Let's just have an extra card for that area there. I don't always do this because I'm not one. Oh, that's too many. Way too many. But there's a whole story there for somebody. This is the way my readings work. There's a general thing that's going on in the world for people, but then very often somebody's story will try and come through for me very, very strong. So it's like separate stories in here. So somebody's story's tied up with their the star. Okay, there might be a lot of Aquarian energy attached to this sub-story that I'm getting. Okay. Getting a lot of Aquarius energy represented by the star. Absolutely love that star, isn't it gorgeous? Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous illustration. Innovation, new ways of doing things. Let me have a look. What's the story? Okay, with Aquarius energy, I want to say, and emotions, and there's a full moon being shown to me there on that card as well. And I can speak from experience here because I actually got an Aquarius moon myself. You need to be careful. The danger of it is that you become cold. Or that others can see you as cold. But you're not cold. You've got all this fiery energy. You're far from cold if you're a Knight of Rods. But it can come across as cold. Your actions can come across as quite cold to other people. And that can be stopping you from getting back what it is you're seeking, because you're looking outside yourself. You're looking outside yourself to feel love, passion. Those things are already within you, obviously. You're looking to have them. You're looking for a cup to pour them into and then have it reflected back to you, but you're not getting that. What you're getting back is cold energy. Because I just see such a contrast between the cold and the heat of these cards here. This is showing me intuitively, okay, that's what I'm feeling. You're being reflected back this. Also, somebody's made a wish. Oh, we get a star card. This is about wish fulfillment. this is about putting yourself in the spotlight. Now, one thing I will say is the Knight of Rods is not scared to go in the spotlight. You're not scared to go in the spotlight person if that's you. But somebody else might be. Somebody who's just, I want to say, somebody who's just right for you isn't like that. They might be quite shy. They might be quite reserved and not a spotlighty kind of person, if that makes sense. Okay, and that's what you're looking above. You're flirting with this one, you're flirting with that one. But you're not getting any satisfaction back from it. Because there's one that you've overlooked that doesn't go showing off, I want to say. Okay, and they might be coming across as cold, even. But because shyness can come across as coldness as well sometimes, I want to say. Oh, this is for somebody in particular, this bit. So let me know if it's resonating with you and what that is. So I'm feeling it very, very strongly. There may be fire signs included here as well as some new strong fire placements. Anything else there? Okay. Just one more. I'm getting for some reason as well, being shown quite strongly, there's a J. The moon. The moon card came up as an extra clarifier there again. So it's asking you to be careful under this moon. It's asking you to be careful under this moon. Now, if this spirit resonates with you, this part of this story, okay, don't be making any bold moves right now. Knight of Rods, very, very bold. Not scared to make a few bold moves in any direction, any fancies. Now's not a time for that. It really, really isn't, okay? Now's the time to just sit back, give it a bit more of that hangman energy, and you're going to be shown an opportunity for love of somebody that's a lot different to what you think it's going to be, okay? Excuse me a minute. Miss Murray, come here. Here, Murray bun. Murray, come here. Once one starts and they both start, and then calm down. It's just people out there. Sorry about that, folks. So it feels like they're going to be quite different to what you originally thought they were like. Not that they might be different from you, but it's not so much that I'm getting. I'm getting more like, once you get to know this person, they might come across quite cold, shy and reserved and things like that, but once you get to know them, they're actually not that cold, shy or reserved. They actually are going to be able to respond to you and communicate with you in a way that you like. I hope that makes sense to somebody who's coming through really, really strongly. Okay? And they're going to show you that you actually have everything already within you that you need. And you don't need to be chasing all these caps all the time. You don't need to. It's not here to tell you what to do with your life in any sense. It's just tarot reading. But it's for somebody who it wouldn't have come up. Okay, my love. So I'm going to leave that there. That was a weird one. So, let's do a moon ritual. Being as we are in the Pisces for moon. So exciting. See what comes up. Whatever you do, like I say, see it as a celebration of how far you've come on your emotional journey, that you now understand a lot better than you did this time last year perhaps, what your wants, needs and what have you actually are, compared to what you thought they were. That's that lesson there with our Knight of Wands. By the light of the full moon, I manifest great romantic love into my life. So somebody is certainly trying to manifest love into their life. But somebody's trying to manifest you as well, okay? But it's somebody that you've brushed off, that they're not your type or something like that, because they're a bit quieter or a bit more reserved than the type you normally go for, or something like that. Somebody is surrendering. So this is what I mean. Somebody is manifesting and somebody is surrendering. So that's on somebody for sure. And then underneath I'm going to look underneath the packs. I've been told I've got to look underneath the packs a bit more often. This full moon, I connect with the higher realms and celestial guides. So for the rest of us that are not manifesting love or romance or whatever, it's about actually being in contact with those celestial guides. How exciting is that? I love the energy of that one. Look at that. Connecting with the higher realms and celestial guides. And I'm not surprised, because that's what Odin's doing. He's on that hangman or on that tree. That's what the hermit's all about. That's what they're doing. They're connecting with the higher realms and celestial guides. That's why they've had a pause. That's why they're hanging from the tree. That's why that hermit's gone up the mountain, so as he can communicate with the higher guides. Okay, it's going to bring us great stability. So this is somebody's personal. This is a bit bigger, okay, but it feels, it's not bigger because it's all, what's wrong with me to say that? It's just different, yeah. There's great stability there. There's great joy there. Let's have a little look at a romance angel or two. Sorry, I've gone really quiet. It feels like there's such a lot trying to come up for my attention, to be honest with you. I don't know where to start with it. Pisces is a very romantic energy, very love-based. Yeah, somebody's quite different from each other here as well. Okay. And career. This has come up over and over and over again in love life for somebody for weeks on end, that the finances are getting in the way of having a proper love life. You may be far away from somebody. There might be this is causing a hindrance to how you're going to set up a home together. Maybe you haven't got, you find it difficult to see how it's going to work on the ground. I've been getting this for weeks on end for somebody. Same one keeps coming up, and if you watch my channel you'll have seen that. Right now, okay, now the way to manifest finances as a career isn't to stress about it, isn't to keep pushing, isn't to keep fretting about it. It's to have that patience of the hangman, it's to have that patience of the hermit, okay. I want to say somebody's quite different from each other as well, because in that card there about manifesting great romantic love with the full moon, the couple are an elephant and an horse. I mean, when does an elephant and an horse ever fall in love? I've just been drawn to that. I was like, never. So this is what I mean. There's somebody here who's like looking for a lover or a soulmate or some sort of connection, and they're looking at people that are the usual. They're looking at this one, they're looking at that one, and there's somebody who's, you've gone, that's, yeah, but I'm an elephant, they're an horse. That's not going to work or whatever. And do you know what? If you give it a go, it's gonna work. But you're gonna, if you learn to be still, stop chasing and stop fretting about it all, you're gonna figure it out who that person is. Okay, this is too many, but I say that and then I've got to do it anyway. Okay, retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. Couldn't be more perfect. That's what I was saying to you right at the beginning. It's time to disconnect. Don't go making any big decisions, even if you've got an inkling about who that might be, or the finances and career issue coming up and you can see a way. Now's not the time to start anything new. The next week you're going to start come out of that, right? So we're still in that retreat. It might be being affected by children or dogs even. There's a lot of dogs in that card as well as children. So you might find that just family life, maybe somebody's got children or something like that, and that's kind of getting in the way of you getting close to somebody. Give your relationship a chance. All of these came out, so this is very strong for somebody, a romantic thing. Work on it, give it a chance. Okay, give it a chance. It's not what you thought you were going to be, who you thought you were going to be with or whatever, but give it a chance. Keeping an open mind. Your soulmate may be different from your usual what did I say? See, that spirit backing me up perfectly. I've just said that to you not 2 minutes ago. somebody here who's different from your usual type, or somebody that you've gone, no, but you need to get to know them because the way they're projecting isn't the way they actually are. I'm so happy when Spirit backs me up like that. That is spot on what I'm trying to say to you. So grateful. Okay. So, anyway, if you're resonating with this, get in touch, let me know. If you'd like a personal reading, get in touch with me and let me know, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff trying to come up for people here. It is a full moon after all, so I do get a lot of messages for people at this time. So do stay in touch with me, do get in touch, arrange a private reading if that takes your fancy, because I'm feeling a lot of stuff trying to come up here, and I'm coming close up to the time now where I have to leave this reading there, and I feel like I don't want to, because I literally feel like there's so much stuff trying to come up. Okay. Let's get an angel blessing to close. Okay. Archangel Michael, perfect. Protect your heart by surrounding yourself with a royal blue light. Always a good idea. Every day in every way. Okay, call on the archangels. He came out in a crossing positions, so somebody might really need that protection, or feel like they need that protection right now from outside influences. What's this? Rebirth. The ashes of the past leave fertile ground for new spiritual growth. See your glory. Mr. Murray, Murray, come on. No, he's getting walked up by that window. Somebody's out there. The ashes of the past. See your glory. I feel like that fits there with the Hierophant and that Five of Swords in reverse. There has been a massive rebirth. You've levelled up to stage of Hierophant. I mean, you know, that's some pretty big levelling up. That's having to navigate through a lot of dense, heavy, dispute, nasty kinds of energies around you, and still hold your own and still come out as this phoenix rising from the ashes, as this Hierophant. I'm loving that. That is amazing. And that's the general energy I'm getting for the collective generally as well. This is humanity. This is humanity rising up above the rot, rising up above the, lower energies, raising the vibration from that to that. I mean, come on. Yay. If anything deserves a celebration. Get me? I think you do. I'm going to have to look underneath the packs again. Okay. Yeah. Guess what's underneath the top pack? Another Five of Swords. Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. We've risen up through that. We've had a rebirth through all of that. We've had the Hierophant through all that. That's what it's taught us, having to be, because when you're in those lower energies and you're in all that dispute and you're in all that muck and you're in all that negative, freaky, scary, sketchy, everybody being, you wonder why you're in it. But when you've risen out of it and you've levelled up the Hierophant, you know why you were in it. You were in it so you could learn this. You were in it so you could learn that. To be that. Stay in that power. Okay. So that's underneath that one. Underneath this one. Queen of Discs. Beautiful. Queen of Discs. Same suit as how beautiful. No, it's not. We haven't got another discs. But the Queen of Discs is always welcome. I mean, a Queen of Discs is a powerful feminine energy that can stay grounded, that is wise, that is practical, that can build things, that is down to earth, that can multitask, get things done. Beautiful full moon in that card there as well. Okay, so this is like everything that you've achieved up to this full moon. I feel like been working really hard. Queen of Discs is a really hard working queen, very, very practical, very, very grounded, very, very hard working. So wisdom of the owl there as well. Kick back. Time to kick back. Don't go making any big decisions over the next week. Time to kick back. Time to celebrate that full moon. Time to celebrate everything you've achieved and how hard you've been working. Okay. And we'll wait for the next push forward. I feel really happy. I feel really glad that I've done this reading with you guys today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give me a like, please give me a share, please give me a subscribe, please get in touch. Absolutely love you all. I'm going to come back in probably tomorrow or Monday, Saturday the 10th today. Probably tomorrow or Monday to do the starseed reading, okay? Because I'm going to be out to work for the rest of the week then anyway, so I'll probably try and get it done tomorrow or Monday, okay? So until then, love you all to bits. Happy new moon in Pisces. Let's see it as a celebration. Let's be joyous. Let's just kick back from making any big decisions. Let's just be happy for the stability and the health that's coming in. All right, let's be, creative about how we're going about manifesting our love life. I want to say, let's keep an open mind to all of that. This is amazing energy, how we've risen above the two. For the Five of Swords to come out twice there when I'm talking about it as well, and that Hierophant and that rising from the ashes, that's where we're at collectively, and I'm feeling that right in my heart space right now. I'm so happy about that. So let's keep up the good work, okay? Let's keep understanding these energies and allowing them to work with us, not against us. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. All the love, all the light.